Well, it broke into a second half when it wasn't supposed to, but so now you're getting two videos. Coming in at number five is Anakin Skywalker. Now, Anakin Skywalker, unlike Darth Vader, is the young, strong, powerful Jedi that was the prodigy chosen one. Now, to me, Anakin was really good in the films, but the one thing they could have explored more was his one ability called Force Vision. I feel like he was more stronger and more powerful than all the other characters. And to me, he was able to match people's skills and techniques. And the one thing I liked about Heidi Christensen playing himself as Anakin Skywalker in the Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith is that he gave us the struggle, the emotion, the idea that someone tells you you're not to be a Jedi Master and that you have to earn that. We all feel that when we go to work, when we go to work, we get told, and we can relate to Anakin. He's a relatable character. Most characters we can't relate to, but we can relate to somebody like Anakin Skywalker. A lot of us feel what he felt when we were in high school, college, at work. The idea of being told you're good, but you're not good enough. And when you say, I'm the chosen one, and people don't believe you, you can feel some of that struggle. Now, the only thing is he never realized his full potential. As strong and powerful as he was, he never realized his full potential. And sometimes we ask ourselves that, will we ever end up like that? To be real good, but never actually really be great. There's a difference between being good and being great. Anakin was great, Darth Vader was good. Vader actually got to achieve something, but as Anakin, he never got to reach that full potential. Like, what he could have done, we will never know. Coming in at number four is Mace Windu. Now, Mace Windu is a badass character who's also underappreciated. Simply because, even though he got to be in 3 movies, it's like the guy was past his prime and he still was able to give the Emperor a challenge. And to me, it's like we could have gotten more Mace Windu if they actually explored this. Like, it would have been nice if his character could have actually been in the new films at some capacity. Like, we see him in 3 movies, but it's like you see a lot of Obi-Wan, a lot of Luke, you see some Anakin, but Mace is one of those characters you really want to know more of his backstory. Like, how did he get from being a Jedi to a Jedi Master to a Grand Master to the Jedi Council to relinquish his leadership and giving it to Yoda? A lot of people don't realize if you read the Mace Windu comics or graphic novels, he was the leader of the Jedi Council and then he relinquished it to Yoda. And most of those movies have Yoda as the leader of the council and he's just in second in command. But there are other great battles from the universe of Star Wars of Mace when he was in his prime that could be explored. When I heard that Samuel Jackson was going to come back as Mace Windu, I was excited because people can identify with him because they created a character where he's got a purple lightsaber, and nowhere in Star Wars before we saw a badass with a purple lightsaber. So kudos to Mace Windu for that. Coming in at number 3 is Yoda. Now, Yoda is a very wise character. I think we see a lot of our fathers and grandfathers in Yoda. Telling us at every step we make in life, there are good choices, there are bad choices. Now, Yoda might not have been the biggest or the strongest, but he was the smartest and he was the powerfulest at what he was good at. Good at meditation, good at picking the right moments. And the fact that he comes off as a teacher, sometimes when you're at work or school, you think of your mentors and teachers, you think of them as Yoda because of the way they explain to you the consequences of our actions, the way we do things when we should sit down and reflect before making those choices, good or bad. And to me, it's nice to have a character like Yoda exist for that purpose. The fact that he gives you these good quotes in the movies, their life lessons that we learn, and the fact that he got to fight the Emperor, and even though he might have not been that strong, he still was able to put up a fight that makes you go, he makes the little people stand up and cheer. Like, this is a guy that fights for the little people. And he don't just fight the little people, he fights for everybody. And you have to admire that in someone like Yoda. That Yoda's a prime example of you may not be the biggest or the strongest or the fastest in sports, but if you're the smartest, that's all you need, and that's what Yoda was. Smart. Coming in at number two is Exum Kun tied with Dark Bane. Now, Exum Kun is what if Anakin Skywalker was the chosen one and was in the light and then fell to the dark side and then realized his full potential and then try to make a return back to the light. Exum Kun is like what if Anakin Skywalker did realize his full potential and still fell to the dark side and then returned back to the light. Where in Allegan cases, he also was the chosen one, but never really had a chance to realize that full potential. So, in a way, he's on number two because of the tier of power that he possessed. And this is like, you could make this into a Disney Plus show where Allegan reads books about Extra Kun and takes some of his references, and that could explain why Allegan act the way he act because he kind of read books. Because in the stories of Allegan in the comic books, he reads about all the Jedi's and all the Sith that came before him, so he can kind of know why things go the way they go. And you could have it where he read about this guy who done pretty much the same stuff he done to understand the character a little better. On the other hand, you have the man who created the rule of two. There should be only two Jedi's or two Siths. To me, this is the one thing you have missing from Star Wars, the rule of two. Doesn't matter if you make it into a movie, a television show, or a 90-minute special. This is what's missing because you always wonder why there's two Siths, why there's two Jedi's, and he's the reason for that. And to me, Dark Bane's story has never been explored. It doesn't matter if you take him when he's younger or older, that would be the time to explore his backstory. The Emperor spoke of how the rule of two came, but the Emperor never told you where the rule of two had originated from. So you can kind of see why that is. And if you guys wonder why the Emperor's not on my list, it's because I'm going to make another video that's just about the greatest Star Wars villains. So don't be thinking just because I bought some sips on here, you go, where's the Emperor? The Emperor is so badass of a villain, he's got to get his own video. Coming in at number one is Luke Skywalker. Someone who did realize his full potential, someone who fought off temptations of the dark side, stayed in the light, became a Jedi Master, a Grand Master, got a family, and became the strongest and the powerfulest. And he didn't necessarily always try to go out and fight everyone. He tried to be a teacher and an educator in his later years. Now, the Luke Skywalker that we got in the movies was because at that time he was young, he was being trained, whereas in the expanded universe, that Luke Skywalker is seriously overpowered. And the fact that we got a fraction of that in episode 8 makes you go, we could have got more than what we saw in that movie. But if you're making a Luke Skywalker television show and Mark Hamill's going to return back to that role, there is a chance to explore his other powers and abilities. And to see him fight the Night Sisterhood of the Dark Side, a clone of Darth Maul, because there were more than one clone in that story where Darth Maul keeps coming back because of the magic. But my point is, that would be a chance to explore more of Luke's story. The adventures he had when him and Princess Leia were Jedi's together. That could be explored. Him creating the Jedi, him recreating the Jedi Council and the Jedi Order again. That could be explored. That could be something that we all want to see. We got a snippet of it in episode 8, but what I mean is that would be a chance to tie in the story of Kylo Ren and find out what really happened from a television point of view versus the movie's interpretation. So to me, there is no Star Wars without Luke Skywalker. Mark Hamill is Luke. Luke is Mark Hamill. And to me, if you get a younger actor, that's okay. But by the end of the day, when we look at Mark Hamill, all we can see is Luke Skywalker. And fans have told him that countless of times, and he knows it, that without Star Wars or without Luke, there would probably be no Star Wars. And the fact that George Lucas made him the King Arthur of this universe is touching. We all want to be heroes. We all see ourselves as the heroes, and we all struggle with our identity in our everyday life to be like Luke Skywalker. The thing is to follow Luke's example, and then later be a hero. But you have to understand association. Be a hero, but be careful because if you follow in the hero's footsteps, you know the old saying, it's not always good to idol your heroes because they might disappoint you. Where with Luke, you see that a progression in the movies. That he becomes a hero, we see what becomes of that hero, and then we see that hero have, some tragedies, and then we see him repent, we see him redeem, and to me, that's what a hero is. A hero does everything that a hero is supposed to do. That includes redeeming himself and repenting, and Luke does that. And to me, that's what we all see as a hero. So I hope you enjoy this video. Sorry I broke it into two parts, but until next time, peace.